What we doing? What we doing? You said Joe Montana. We doing Sony.
Sony stuff, and we're actually kind of live on air now. So,
Oh,
hey, what's up, everybody? I usually do videos every day, but I'm still kind of getting caught up, man. I'm like, I don't know, Next Gen, have you been as tired as me after covering E3?
yeah. Well, I had a couple grandmothers come over, so I've been, a little worn out.
Yeah, I've been tired, man. Like unbelievably tired. I was like, holy crap! Like usually I cut my videos on my day off. I just wanted to like chill, So I was like, well, I didn't really cut a video for today, so I figured I would come and talk a little bit about. I did a video on why I thought Microsoft won E3. Now I'm going to do a video about why Sony lost it. And also, they kind of pissed me off with this whole Kickstarter thing with Shenmue. And then maybe I want to touch a little bit on the Joe Montana stuff that.
Because he went to why Sony lost.
Yeah. Basically, Sony likes to play on people's emotions, and they did that at E3, right? You heard people talking about, "Whoa, I saw The Last Guardian, and I want to cry." You know what I mean? Like they touch on emotions, but should people really give them a W for showing something that they originally showed off like 6-7 years ago? I mean, should we really be saying congratulations, Sony, for re-showing something and not even a live demo?
The same exact one.
And not only do they, and what did we say? We said they might show something from it, but they're not going to live demo it, and without an actual firm release date. Who should believe this? Only suckers would believe that. So they show a tape demo, and they say, well, we could have done it live, but there's issues with the game, and will it run it that way or whatever. And now they're saying they're not even sure it's coming out next year.
Oh, no, we're not going to see that game for at least 2 years.
Yeah, so if it does come out, and they changed developers. It's not Team Ico anymore. It's like a mixture of other people or whatever. Maybe some people from Team Ico and some other studios.
Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog. We got a little bit of everybody in them.
Yeah. it's like everybody's hands in the pot, and I can see that not going well. So they like to touch on people's emotions, and that's kind of sad in my opinion. Like I'm not a fan of that whole kind of bullshit people and just try to pander to the people, and that's what they did. And the same thing with that Shenmue thing, right? To me, like when you let that sink in, at first you're like, oh well, they're just trying to. They want the media to play it up. Look how nice Sony is. They're letting Yu Suzuki come up there and pitch his Kickstarter, right? Then you find out that Sony is actually funding this product as well. And so you're like, why is a multi-billion-dollar company resorting to letting this guy e-bag? They basically what it comes down to is they want the good publicity as being nice guys and pro developer. So they're like, hey, let's have this guy out on our stage and pretend like, we're not funding it. And now it's coming out that there is this big budget for the game and Sony's funding it. You know what I mean? They're at least funding a majority of this game.
You know what? I think that Sony is Sony, that was very distasteful. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not the biggest Sony dude. I think they should be investigated by the BBC or whatever the fuck does that type of stuff.
Yeah, Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, or something, because you have a Kickstarter and you take people's money and then saying now that you're partnering with this guy. They've been partnering with that guy from the beginning. And it just took $2 million for almost $3 million from hardworking American citizens or whoever hardworking all across the world. I don't think that's cool. Sony loses some cool points for that one, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like the deception, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's like they're always getting they're always getting away with this stuff. And now I'm starting to see some sites come out and say, hey, that's kind of fucked up. And I linked one in the description as well. And also, for those of you guys watching, I'm going to probably pitch this a lot. Big Gamer Small Talk, which is the podcast that we do. We now have like merchandise, and you can and I link this in the description and in the comment section. You can get the shirt of me pissing on a PS4 with the Rack 'em Up logo. You can get the Big Gamer Small Talk logo. You can get this on shirts, hoodies, get them on phone cases. Hell, you can get a duvet cover with it on there. You can get artwork with it. Coaster. Yeah, you can get everything. And then when you guys buy this stuff, I know it's like, we're like kind of poking fun at eBay, but we're not rich. But this is going to fund us to do things, exciting things in the upcoming years. Yeah, for you guys. And it'll be fun to to see the support. We've already sold some stuff, and we're getting some really good feedback. So hopefully you guys support us in that way. You know, and it's quality stuff from this place. So make sure you guys check it out. And I'm going to be.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that if you're not interested in the T-shirt, maybe made with a hoodie or whatever, just go to the once you see whatever brand you have. You have me so far. You have crap. You have crap listed on the PS4. Then you have the big game of small talk. Like we have a couple different artwork, couple different designs. But say if you don't want a shirt, you don't want a T-shirt, you maybe want a V-neck T-shirt. Doesn't matter. If you go to the click over to the right and it says style, you can pick hoodie, sweatshirt, baseball cap, whatever type of shirt you want. They have all different types of shirts, tank top, women's shirts. Doesn't matter if you don't want a shirt, or maybe you can't fit this. The biggest they go is 3X. You can't fit the shirt. If you go down and it says available merchandise, that's when you see the iPhone cases, the Samsung Galaxy cases, the iPad covers, picture frames, posters, book bags, notebooks, everything. You know what I mean? Everything. You know what I mean? And
hell, I even saw leggings on there, man. Those are all.
Yeah, I was looking like what the fuck, leggings. Jay, I'm like, so you're gonna see next gen and some. You're gonna see my husky ass with some leggings, a big game of small tank, big game of small talk tank top. I'm having tied in a knot to the side. You know what I mean? And twerking.
Yeah.
You see me twerking with the big game of small talk podcast poster behind me. So look out for that video coming soon. I'm letting you know right now. But let's see, whatever you can. If you want to see us, if you want to see your favorite podcast at E3 at GamesCon, and PAX East, PAX West, PAX Head Sex, whatever. This is how we're going to get there. This is how we're going to do it. So we're just taking our first.
Some of you guys are really close to PAX East, so it would be easy for at least
come
some
out,
of us.
Meet us. Come out. Yeah. This is how we're going to get there because we're from all over the country. I'm from Jersey. Craps from.
I'm in Florida, so Florida. I'm in America's Wang.
Showstoppers in Ohio, Cleveland, Mooches in New York, Bori, I don't know where the fuck he's from undisclosed target.
He's all over the goddamn place.
Yeah, so but this is how we're gonna do it, and this is how we're gonna fund it. 10 Dogs, I believe, is upstate New York.
Yeah, he's New York as well. He's already at E3, man, like hanging out with all the. He's like, I guess him and Major Nelson are real chummy now.
Yeah, so this is how we're gonna do it. And you can see through you guys support. You know what I mean? Or even if you want to see us playing some of your favorite video games together, whatever. But this is the key for us growing our brand and seeing us doing some of the things that the other podcasts unlock, or some of them podcasts you don't like. This is how we're going to get there and be able to compete with these guys.
Yeah, be an alternative. I mean, we already had as you can see, people are really interested in our reactions. Like, look at the live stuff, the views that we get on that on your channel, and then the reactions on my channel. Like thousands and thousands of people watch what we do.
Follows around all day, and the channel's still getting views.
Yeah, and
follow us around all day. That shows us that you guys really do rock out, and we appreciate it. So you know what I mean? And even we can have maybe we can do something like, whoever gets a T-shirt get to come on the show or something. We'll figure something out. Everybody
like a little more incentives. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a part of the show. The thing that's why we do the questions, so we can make you guys a part of the show, because we can't bring everybody on the show. I guess that 1,000 times a day. Hey, when can I come on the show? But this is how we get you guys to ask your question or call in live on here. That's the way that we do it. But like I said, you get a T-shirt. We may have a raffle or something. Bring have alternate guests do a segment or something. But anyway, thank you. The link could be down in the description. The link is also in my last video, so go by and check us out.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then just going slightly back to Sony. So basically they show The Last Guardian, which if that game does come out, it's not coming out next year. So 2017. We're in 2015 now in the midway point. So 2017. Then they kind of bilk everybody on Shenmue, which was a bunch of deceptive bullshit, when reality is they're funding the game. Because when you hear the 2 million mark or whatever, right? I was like, that's really low, because back in the day that was said to be a $45 million budget. So how are they going to do it for 2 million? I realized that it might not cost as much, but still there's a big chunk there. Then you find out not only is Sony funding this, but they also have a list of other things that they're thinking about kickstarting. Like, this is a multi-billion-dollar company. They want you to buy their products, buy their add-ons, buy their games, and fund the game's development. I mean, look, I'm a Microsoft guy, but if Microsoft came to me and was like, hey, do you want to kickstart this game? I'm going to tell them to pack sand. I'm going to be like, fuck you, Microsoft. I already bought your product, and I'm buying your stuff new. I'm supporting it.
Crap, they said they have other stuff they plan on kickstarting also?
Yes, they said they have a list of things that they were interested in kickstarting, and and that's sad to me. You know what I mean? Like, did you see the Kickstarter for the PlayStation 4 hardcore controller?
No.
Yeah, that was going around on Twitter. Apparently, they want to kickstart it. I don't know if it's an official Sony thing or what.
Oh, so they want to control like Microsoft has now?
Yeah, they're trying to get a controller that's hardcore, like Microsoft, like what Microsoft showed.
That's what I'm saying. See, you know what? Stuff like that. I don't know if it's by the fans or if it's by Sony, but to me, when stuff like that, like Sony doesn't have, like when I say they lost their way, if it's them behind them, why do you come up with your own thing? Microsoft is doing it first, so you know they always got to have their next big Halo. They always got to have their next Mario, their next Smash, their next Mario Kart Racing. They always got to have their next what their rival has, and that's one thing I hate about. Just instead of them doing what they do, they make these great one-player games, story-driven. Stick to that. God of War, stick to that. Uncharted, stick to that. What's that other one? The last of us, stick to that. This is what you do good, Sony. You know what I mean? I give credit where credit is due, but when you start starting to, do what your competitor does and I hate, that's one thing I hate about Sony. Everything's the Halo killer, the Forza and Horizon killer, the Gears of War killer. Everything's that killer, and it always fucking bombs out for them.
It does. I mean, when you look at it, Drive Club was the Forza killer, and many sites were running with that moniker.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out and it's dog shit. The Order 1888. Is this the Gears killer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, man. Killzone. This is the Halo killer right here. And before it was Killzone, it was Haze. I mean, come on, man. And it's just kind of ridiculous. Sony totally plays up on people. How could anybody? Like, I guess I wasn't surprised at sites like IGN gave Sony the win, but what I was surprised by was people were oblivious to the fact that Sony didn't show anything for this year. Microsoft showed 7 games that Xbox One owners are getting this year. Sony showed none.
Could you name those 7, please? Could you please name those 7?
It's Fable Legends.
All right, 1.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
2.
Halo 5.
3.
Gears of War Ultimate.
4.
Rare Replay.
5.
Forza Motorsport 6.
6.
And what the hell was the 7th one?
Season 3?
No, there was a different one.
That's 8 in there, but
yeah. Hold on, I'll be able to tell you one second.
Gigantic or something?
No, hold on. Let me see. Fable, Forza. They have Gigantic, Rare Replay, Halo 5, Tomb Raider. Yeah, I think it's like 7. But anyway, it was cool because Aaron Greenberg was interviewed and asked about Sony's lineup, and he says, well, they don't even have a release date for the one game that they were hyping, which is No Man's Sky. And I think that's kind of indicative of what Sony is making you kind of do is wait and wait and wait. And then people were excited for Shenmue. Like you had your boy from Bang Bang Jabari like trolling me. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, man, I'm going to get that Shenmue and my name's going to be in the credits. And I'm like, okay, well, wake me in 2017 or 2018 when that game's out because the list date for that is December 2017, but that is likely to get pushed back. We know it will.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at 3 years from now. Who really cares about games that far out? You know what I mean? Like, I give credit where credit is due. I thought Sony showing that new Horizon game, that looked good, right? But closing for the second year in a row with Uncharted 4, and that game's still not out. To me, that's a loss.
You know what?
And the game still crashed.
That's what I don't think that game is coming out in the spring of.
Oh yeah, there's not a chance.
2016. I don't see how if this game and none of these big sites are really talking about it either. But that game crashed twice live on TV twice.
Yep.
So if they still can't get past the part of the bug when the game is crashing, just a little stage demo. I don't expect that game in spring of 2016. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe holiday 2016, which
that's probably the better idea for them, just because it's going to give them at least a big game to come out. But can they really wait? Can they really wait almost 2 years before putting out a big AAA title, though? I mean,
they do have some stuff for the spring. They have Street Fighter. They have Ratchet and
Yeah.
Clank. They have baseball, of course. Is Persona 5 coming out this year?
I don't. They didn't even show that at E3.
No,
You
they
know, all
didn't.
them sites hyped that game up, right? And then they didn't even show it or demo it. You know why they
No,
didn't? Because the American audience doesn't really give a shit. You know what I mean? That's going to be. You know what they showed
yo,
instead of
maybe
Persona?
what?
They showed Destiny DLC, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Batman, which is coming out next week, and Disney Infinity.
You know what? Hey, crap. I'm gonna be honest. No, I'm not. I'm a lie. I'm a liar. I'm a fucking liar. I'm gonna be honest with you. And this be fair to me with their conference, they came out smoking. You know, they know how to play on their. And you know what? I give them The Last Guardian because they're fans. You guys fans. I've never played The Last Guardian game, but I've heard so much about it. It looks like it has the puzzle mechanics of a NAT game. Looked like they was in an abandoned amusement park. The dog had fleas, and I was like, like seriously. And what the fuck was he saying? Like I just maybe like I said, I'm not a PlayStation gamer. I think that's what it is because
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. With the stuff that we like, those big blocks of stuff, Sony fans like those little anime, Japanese RPG type games.
So they're probably a little jealous over Recore and stuff like that, right? I mean,
Yeah, like
and
that's something
Scalebound.
new. But like
Yeah.
I with the Horizon Rising or
Horizon
yeah.
Zero Dawn or
Now
something
here's the
like that.
thing. Only thing that scares me about that game is who's make Guerrilla Games. They
Yeah,
make
they make
really
beautiful
fucking,
games, but
but they
the
be
stories
boring
are
in the
shit.
motherfucker.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
hope that's not the case with Horizon. Because all of what else have they made besides Killzone?
I think they've only made Killzone.
Yeah, because that scares me. Because Killzone is shit. It looks pretty. It
Yeah.
gets you all in, but the gameplay is not. That's not a fun game.
And when you do character RPGs, you need good characters and good good voice work and all that good stuff. And Killzone doesn't have any of that. It's all very generic. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's dog shit. That's
It
what it
is.
is.
It's
It's that
bad.
dog shit.
It's terrible. I've never 100%ed any Killzone game. It's like finish the story or anything because it's just bad. And
Hey, hold on. Hey, crap. Keep it moving. Hold on. I gotta switch my mic out.
Okay.
Keep it
No
going.
problem.
Here, keep talking.
Yeah, so then we had so they did start off what you could be considered good because they showed off The Last Guardian, which is going to tug at the heartstrings, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's finally happening!" Like it's like Sony smacked you around, you're their wife for years, and then they're saying they're sorry, and you're going to believe them because they showed it again. That's ridiculous. Then they showed a new game which looked good, I admit. Then they go into this whole tangent of other just awful stuff. I mean, they couldn't even tease you guys with a new Sucker Punch game or a Gran Turismo game or anything that was rumored. You know what I mean? Where's a Siphon Filter or anything halfway decent? You know, you got David Jaffe working on a hand-drawn game, look like a flip book. You know, you have quality developers making the equivalent of indie games. You have Media Molecule making some kind of weird claymation puppet game that just looked awful. You know, you're hyping up No Man's Sky, a game that is multi-platform, a timed exclusive, and it's just an indie game at the end of the day. You know, I can understand why some people might be excited for that kind of thing, but to me, the game has no real point. You know, it's just like a kind of a pointless thing, go around, and, you know, I like, you know, and if that's for you, that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinions. But for me, just a game where you're just going around and there's no point or plot or voice acting or
What game is
anything.
this?
No Man's Sky.
Oh no, yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah,
That's
and
not
they
even
don't.
exclusive though.
No, it's timed exclusive, and they don't even give you a release date for that. It's supposed to come out this year,
He
but
said,
there's
"Oh,
no.
look at this part right here." And he showed him shooting like Galaga. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at this, look what you can do right here. Man, that game looked boring. It's like watching fucking your grandmother cook a pot of oatmeal in the goddamn kitchen. It's boring.
And I remember I was trying to ask Worry. I was like, "So what's this game about? What do you really do?" And he's like, "Well, you know, you explore and this, and you know what I mean." I'm like, "Okay."
Like you hopped in the lake with some goldfish. Nah, you can keep that.
Yeah, and I was like, and it does, then the thing is like I can understand like it's different and it's got an expansive world, but are people really gonna be? I mean, that's my problem with Elite Dangerous. I think that seems like an okay game on Xbox, but I hear that it's really like a sim, and it like to do like one mission could take you 5 or 6 hours. I just don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but it's just not exactly uh, my thing. You know what I mean? It's not that's something that really appeals to me on that level. And so I thought, with the lackluster lineup, they were showing a lot of multi-plats and games that just were not very appealing. And then they have the gall to talk about View TV again and all this, and nobody mentions it. Nobody says anything. I mean, when they're like, hey, View TV and this, I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, if Microsoft, we bitched at Microsoft for doing a 9-minute indie presentation. Imagine if they had spent 5 minutes on talking up TV on E3. I mean, we as Xbox fans would have hated that. We didn't like the HoloLens thing, even though according to like Tim Dog and people there, they were absolutely blown away by it. Like demoing it and stuff. But can you imagine like the backlash that they would get over that?
Well, they got to experience it, because they were there.
Yeah.
They got the experience it because they were there.
Yeah, and like Worry Ward, who is I think the most even keel of our group, was even like kind of scratching his head over this whole Kickstarter thing. Like when you actually think about it, it's such a scumbag move. I don't understand it. And then earlier in the year, you had Yoshida say he doesn't like Assassin's Creed, he doesn't like Call of Duty because he doesn't like yearly franchises. But what are the two franchises they have like exclusive DLC with or time TLC? It's Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty. So which is it, Yoshida? And remember them when they were like, "Hey, we don't buy third-party exclusives and all this kind of stuff, right?" And now it would look that way with Shenmue and with obviously Street Fighter, right? I mean, literally 2 weeks after they say we don't buy third parties exclusives, Street Fighter V has been money hatted by Sony. You know what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate. So I mean, to me, and hey, just so you guys know out there that are Sony fanboys, they shaved off 30 minutes off their normal E3 because they lacked the content that they would normally have. I mean, honestly, that's sad. And not only do they shave off 30 minutes, but then they don't have any Gamescom whatsoever. Can you imagine what Sony fans are going to do at Gamescom? They better start getting something to bite down on, like the pillow or something, pull that Antonio Holmes, put that face. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like, shit, shots fired. You got stone fired.
Well, can you imagine? Like that's going to be rough for them because we're going to see world premieres of games like Scalebound and Crackdown, huge titles, right? And Sony has absolutely nothing for Gamescom. They're not going to be there. And then what some of the most absurd excuses I heard for why Sony won from the Sony fanboys was E3 was never about what's coming out now. It's about the future. So I'm like, and that leaves me like, are you fucking kidding me? Because Microsoft showed games coming out this year and they showed games for the future, and they have a Gamescom lined up where they're going to show even more games for next year and possibly for this year. And Sony has nothing. So when Microsoft shows more current games and more future games, I think that kind of argument doesn't hold weight. Who the hell thinks that, it's okay to wait 3 years for games for your console? I mean, those are the Sony apologists, and it's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion.
3 years? Yeah, I'm just being honest. They don't have Now, I'm trying to be fair because Bloodborne is not for me, even though their fans scream up and down for it. You know what I mean? So I give them that. But how long was the PS4 came out in 2013?
Yeah, November 2013.
You got one game, Bloodborne, since 2013?
Yep.
Just one game.
And that's a third-party game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously.
Whoever made it, but it's an exclusive. You got one game if you're into that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's a place to me. Sony has lost their way.
What's great about the people that listen to us and interact with us, right? Like Southbound 110, one of our listeners just tweeted us. He says he wasn't convinced on HoloLens, and he's actually at E3, and he said he experienced it, and he's fucking blown away by it. So, I mean, the people that have actually been there, and again, which has been really great because, and what's weird is I've seen all these pictures of people taken with Phil Spencer and Aaron Greenberg. And by the way, Aaron Greenberg's making the rounds finally after years of not doing interviews. And he's doing interviews and people are taking pictures with him and Larry and the whole group. And I even seen Reggie from Nintendo taking pictures with people, but I haven't seen any Sony stuff like that, Sony can't be bothered. Like to me, they're not interacting as much with the fans as you would think.
They don't want to answer. They don't want to answer any questions on the floor. They knew that shit was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. I mean, when you have Destiny DLC up on your stage at this particular juncture, I think that you don't have much to go on. And then they're showing Batman. And I swear, I got so much shit when I did a Sony prediction video and I said they would show Batman because they lacked content. People were like, that game comes out a week after the E3. Why would they show it? And I'm like, because they don't have anything else to show. You know what I mean? Like, I actually thought that, like, when I did my prediction video, I was going on that they were going to do a 2-hour show. So I was coming up with stuff that they would come out with on their stage. And I thought, well, they would probably show Kingdom Hearts 3 or some Final Fantasy or something along that. That was another thing they showed, Final Fantasy 7. Not coming out this year. It's a remake, and it's not an exclusive. So how is that giving Sony any kind of win? You know, and then you had people like Destin and Mitch from Podcast Unlocked. These are Xbox people, supposedly. And they said, well, we really like Sony's show better because they had all that third-party stuff.
Oh, man.
That's what they said. Now, next gen, correct? Like, here, like, let's go back in time a little bit to, 2012, 2011. Wasn't the media onto Microsoft's ass because they were just focused on multi-plats and only a couple exclusives a year? So what's changed?
I don't know. It's whatever to give Sony the edge. First it's about exclusive, now it's about the multi-plats.
Yeah. I mean, and even the media flip-flops with them.
Yes, they do. But did you hear the article? Did you read the article? I think it was from Fox, or was it Polygon? That Microsoft doing backwards compatibility is the wrong move right now.
That was Forbes. Forbes did an article. Yeah. Yeah, and I saw that, and I was like, you know what? Worrywart showed that to me right yesterday, and he's like, what is up with this? And Worrywart is like the least conspiracy theorist person there is.
Absolutely, man. I got my tinfoil hat on. Let me read these articles.
So, and I'm thinking, how in the world is backwards compatibility? I mean, these consoles are only a year and a half old, and the most requested thing on the Xbox free feedback form is backwards compatibility. Right? And now they get even more fan interaction because you see people doing what? You see people like requesting what games they want. And I think that's a great thing. I mean, they're already saying Gears 2 and 3 and Alan Wake, and you know what I mean? I think that's great. And you know how you do it? You should make a video next gen, like, this is how you play your games, and you take your disc and put it in there. Like, I would have loved Microsoft to do that.
I need your fat hands here with me. You can be, what's his name? Adam Boyd, Adam Boo, what's that motherfucking name? The fat lesbian?
Adam Boyd, yeah, the fat lesbian guy. Yeah. And then, dude, did you see, this is the funniest thing, I don't even know if I should say this on air, but there was a picture of Aaron Greenberg that he tweeted of him, like they were sitting down next to each other, and he had his hands around Adam Boyd's neck, right? Like acting like he was choking him. I mean, I'm sure they're kind of friends or whatever. And I tweeted, and when he tweeted it out, I tweeted to him, finish him, Aaron. Like, you know, favorited the tweet. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing ever. Like, obviously,
he favorited the tweet?
Yeah, he favorited it. I was like, man, obviously he's not going to retweet that, but I mean, he gets it. You know what I mean? Like, I inboxed Aaron. I was like, hey, man, I was like, the fans totally, Mikey Barrett doesn't follow me or anything, but Aaron does. So I was like, hey, what's up, Worry?
Yo, I got a question for you.
What's the question?
Well, I want to ask both of you a question. But
what's the question?
Wait. But before I ask you the question,
what's the question?
You have to pay me to ask you that question.
Oh, fuck that, man! We're gonna start a Kickstarter. Man, that's what
Kickstarter. Hey, War, you're just the Caucasian for the persuasion that we need here right now. Listen, you know what? Do you think?
Here's my take. I'll give you my whole take on it.
No, I don't need the tape. I got your tape. I think that was so dishonest of Sony because they was going to fund that game from the beginning. They just took the people's money. Like, that's the only way that I can explain it. For them dragging that little drunk motherfucker, it's in your hands.
The only thing I don't understand is, and this is dangerous because if, like, you can't just be okay with this because you like a brand. Now, if you're listen, there are things that are called for-profit companies, and there are things that are called not-for-profit companies. Okay, you cannot be okay with a for-profit company saying we would like to gauge interest in a product that we want to make and sell to the consumer, and in order to gauge that interest, we want the consumers to pay us, and if they send us enough money, then they must be interested in it. So then we'll make it, and when we're done, we'll charge them again. You can't do that. That defies the logic of Kickstarter. It's supposed to be for somebody who doesn't have money to make something, and they want to realize a vision, and they get help.
Yeah,
so now they have almost $4 million, and they're saying that we're backing the game. We're going to back the game.
If you're going to back the game, well, that money should be refunded then. If you're going to back the game now, that money should be refunded.
That's what I don't understand. Like, if he's saying, like I saw that, oh, if you want DLC, if you want side missions, if you want behind the scenes stuff, the new goal is $4 million.
Yeah, supposedly it's like
Sony already said that they are funding it. So what is the point of people still sending money in?
Yeah. You know what? This scares me, guys. You know why? Because it sets a dangerous precedent. Like I said earlier, if Microsoft or any company comes out and says, hey, yeah, we'll give you, like, let's say we want an Alan Wake 2. And Microsoft says, hey, we'll do an Alan Wake 2, but let's gauge interest. We're going to do a Kickstarter. And when it hits $2 million, yeah, we'll fund it. I mean, I would tell Microsoft to pack sand so fucking fast. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. And we bought their product and we buy their games. They're the ones that are supposed to supply the games.
You know what I try and do, because I know that there's a lot of like this back and forth, and like it's one side has to defend it, the other side has to hate it. I try and make an analogy that has nothing to do with Microsoft or Sony. Imagine Donald Trump is building a casino, and he says, I'm not sure if people are really going to like this casino. So what I'll do is I'll try and gauge the interest in this casino, and in order to do that, I want people to send me money. And if they send me enough money, then that means they want the casino. But by the way, I was going to build it anyway all along and fund it. But keep sending me money anyway. It makes no sense.
It does. And that's great, because then when you like step back from it and you say, when you look at it like that, it makes perfect sense. But for some reason, it's like fanboys on both sides. And I'll be the first to say, no matter who did that, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, I'm against it. It's abusing Kickstarter, because Kickstarter is there for these little startup companies. Yes,
yeah,
I mean, if you've got billions of dollars,
I don't understand it.
Yeah, and I always thought something was funny when he's like $2 million. That's what they need.
No way. The last one was like $45 million or something like that.
Exactly, and that was years ago. And so I think that like people would be like, oh, it's salty or whatever. Look, I don't think I'm salty because I have a PS4. I can play it. I think what it comes down to is Sony kind of getting away with this kind of stuff, and nobody beside a few actually are saying anything about it. Like that's the issue that I have.
I'm glad the game is coming. Like I mean, I talked about it. The game obviously skews towards a particular audience. It's a audience game. I'm fine with that, and I'm fine that they're making it. I'm happy that they're making it. Apart from me liking the PlayStation, the issue isn't Sony, Microsoft. It's how can a for-profit company say that we're funding a product anyway, but by the way, keep sending us money? I mean, at what point? I mean, they're going to be almost at 6, 7, 8 million donations for this game, and they're making it anyway. So what is that? Where's that $8 million going? Are they just going to say from now on, like, we're going to make games, and by the way, you help us make them? So
they said they have a list. They have a list.
That's never happened before.
Yeah, that's what's dangerous.
Sony's been arrogant again. They're returning back to the Sony of the old.
Yep. I mean,
the
me,
Sony of the old wouldn't have done that.
I'm talking about as far as their arrogance.
Now I want to ask Tim Dog something, because Southbound said, ask Tim Dog about their elevator ride with Yoshida. Apparently, they had an elevator ride with Yoshida. I can imagine how that was. Dude, could you imagine a big gamer small talk in an elevator with Yoshida?
Yeah. Like, we from Big Gamer Small Talk. No.
No. Yoshida, where do you get those suits at, man? Those
big ass suit. He looks so funny squinting in them fucking specs.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, I like I said, I don't think Sony had the best conference. They played on people's heartstrings and kind of were deceptive with that whole Kickstarter thing. And then even with the with the Final Fantasy thing, they're real cryptic with that, and I don't really see the media kind of bugging them the way that they did Microsoft.
Yeah, I saw that interview. You know, there's going to be DLC. It's going to have Cloud and Lara Croft in it.
Yeah, like
you don't get that joke.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? You know, well, let me help you out here. Cloud was the character in Final Fantasy VII. And Lara Croft is the character in Tomb Raider, and that whole interview was sort of like the whole Tomb Raider deal, you know what I mean? Where Phil Spencer is saying, I'm only talking about this game this year. Yeah. Final Fantasy, I'm only talking about this game this year. Anyway, forget it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, and anyway, that game's not even coming out this year, so it's kind of a moot point.
You know what? Why does it take them to make a game so long to make these games? How long is what's the last Final Fantasy came out with the demo? How long has that been in production? Was that Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy 15 or here's the thing with the Final Fantasy games, right? People say they really love 7 or whatever. I've never really played any, but that was a PS1 game and obviously looks like shit, so they would have to go back and give it an anniversary treatment, which takes work and some money. And I think what problem was is we have a tendency to remember games better than they were.
Yeah, you always do that. You remember?
Yeah.
I just did that today. Matter of fact, I remember playing Perfect Dark when it came out.
For the 360?
No, on the N64.
Yeah. And it's out now, backwards compatible on the Xbox One, and I just downloaded it and I'm playing it, and I'm like, what happened? Like, why do I remember this as being? Yeah. I mean, it's good, but I remembered it being so good, you know. Final Fantasy
games, games have gotten better. The scope, what they can do.
It's about going back to your childhood and reliving that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy, but I don't think 7 was the best one. I mean, I know people love it.
Yeah, well, here's the like you like to do analogies for people that aren't. Yeah, well, not comparing it to that. Like here's the thing. Years ago when they came out with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, right?
Remake. It was horrible.
Yeah. Well, I liked it, right? I thought it was okay, and my parents were watching it, and they were like, yeah, well, nothing beats the original. So I was like, hold on. I rented them the original, and the original was so laughable, right? It was like the worst thing ever. So even though the remake was bad, the original was worse.
You know what? Friday the 13th, the original, when you watch it now, it's kind of funny. You know, Kevin Bacon was in it, and that was his first movie. And you watch the remake now, I'd rather watch the original. There's maybe it's me. Certain things just shouldn't be remade. Like they're remaking Big Trouble in Little China with The Rock. You know what I mean? Shit. You don't need to remake that movie.
You don't need to remake that movie, period.
Right. I mean, I can understand the nostalgia for Final Fantasy VII. A remake would be cool. Just don't change it so much. You know what I mean? Like don't make it ultra realistic characters the way they look and the way that they talk, and you got to keep some things faithful to the original. But it's a big game. People love it. They've been asking for it for years, so you understand the reaction when they announce it. The only issue I had, I'm sorry to cut you off. The only issue I had was that Kickstarter thing. I just don't understand that.
Well, I mean, look, do you think like you were the one that gave me that Forbes article about the backwards compatibility not being a good thing for Xbox?
Well, they had another article today saying the exact
Yes, so they did what they did was they did both opinion from different views or whatever, which I guess is okay. Yeah, but great. To me, Sony's reaction to that was kind of bullshit. They took the same stance they took with EA Access, which is it's not something our consumers want. Well, how about you ask your goddamn consumers? Well, I don't recall them ever. I'm a PS4 owner. I don't recall getting the memo with them asking me to vote on if I want backwards compatibility.
It's not like they're just going to come out and say, "Oh no, PlayStation now it stinks." They can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're going to go, "Hey, we fucking spent $400 million on Gaikai, and now that's totally rendered obsolete because Microsoft are software gods, and they managed to get this program that spits out emulation perfectly and tricks your Xbox One into thinking it's Power PC." You know what I mean?
If I was Sony, a solution to this would be you have to roll. They're not going to do it because it's a lot of money, but you have to roll PlayStation Now into the cost of PlayStation Plus because you really can't charge, even though I think it's $20 a month for unlimited.
For what?
But for streaming the old games.
Okay.
It's hard to ask that now when the other guy, the competitor, even though it's limited right now, is saying you can do this for free and just stick your old discs in there, or just the stuff I purchased digitally is now showing up on my Xbox One.
Yeah, mine too.
Right, so they're sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place now. I think they're going to try and either lower the price or roll it into the cost of the subscription of Plus.
Well, think about this, right? I was talking about this with my brother. I said, you know what Nintendo needs to do with their next console?
Everything.
They have all these great games from back in the day. They should, when they launch their next console, have all on their arcade or whatever, and then maybe do a subscription service for online like Microsoft and Sony do. You know, you pay your whatever it is a year, $50-$60 a year, and then you get a couple of those classic games a month. How great would that be?
That would be awesome. I mean,
yeah, and they could, and that would help them. Who the hell is calling?
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, that would like help fund their online. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I don't understand why some of these companies do what they do. It's sort of a mystery. And I mean, I guess it kind of bugs me that some people, I mean, like when I saw both those conferences, I was like, no way can the media even say that Sony came close. They didn't show anything for this year. Their only surprise really was that Horizon game, because we all kind of guessed that they would show something from The Last Guardian, which, by the way, now we know that they said, hey, that's probably not coming next year. So, and Team Ico isn't even a thing anymore. Apparently, they've rolled them into another studio with some other people, and you know, it's like this big conglomerate of developers.
They have the one guy who was there from the beginning, still involved in it. But you know, I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't like they just announced it's coming, and
yeah,
I really wanted a date at this point. After
well, they said 2016, and remember what we said? We said, well, Sony, the only way that people should believe it is if they go out there with a disc, put it in a PS4 on the stage, and play the level with a firm release date, you know, or at least say spring 2016. What they did was they taped almost exactly what we saw like 6-7 years ago, and it looked even worse. And then, you know, it's not even a live demo. So to me, do I believe that that's coming next year? Absolutely not. Just there's not a chance. And you know, I think there was a knee jerk to Microsoft's show.
A knee-jerk?
Yeah, a knee-jerk reaction because
they were kicking it out wide.
Yeah, they were kicking it out wide because Microsoft dropped bombs with backwards compatibility. To me, that's the big thing. So many people, I can tell you, I'm getting 25, 30 messages a day. People want in that preview program because they.
How do you do that? Somebody asked me yesterday to invite them.
You have to be on your friends list, and you know, you have to be friends, not just following them or them following you. And then you can go to the dashboard thing, and then it says invite friends, and then you can go and invite your friends. And then it takes a couple days, and there's prerequisites. I think there's some that has to do with gamer score and things like that. Like Microsoft isn't going to give some noob with no gamer score access to the beta program, right? So I think there's some prerequisites, whatever the fucking word is. Yeah, you know, I never said I was a genius.
Prerequisite.
But, yeah, there you go, Worry. Thank you. You're not leaving me high and dry. But yeah, I think that you know, like originally when they used to do betas, you needed at least like 15,000, 17,000 gamer score or something like that, which is smart. You know, I mean, smart to kind of do that or whatever. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, like I thought that was kind of, you know, shitty, but then Microsoft, what they did, and I was playing Mass Effect 1 on my Xbox One, and I'm like, holy shit, this game looks even better on my Xbox One, so I'm not sure if they're taking advantage of the Henna 2 upscaler or what, but those games run really well. I don't know if you guys remember on the 360, when it would do backwards compatible games with the original Xbox, they didn't play that well.
You know, yesterday, getting back to that Kickstarter thing, I was talking to somebody. They were direct messaging me, and they were really upset that I was like, how could you say this? And the analogy is, listen, you know, old Coke and new Coke. Remember when new Coke came out?
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, no, new Coke, and then it's just not good. I'm an old Coke PlayStation guy. I'm not a new Coke PlayStation guy. So, you know, I don't get excited about Call of Duty DLC on a PlayStation. You know, I don't expect that from them. And the Kickstarter thing, I'm just like, what? It doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I'm saying. I'm more of an old Coke PlayStation guy where, you know, you can't just be okay with it because it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. If you're going to say it's genius, they're gauging interest. Well, if you're a for-profit company, this is how you gauge interests. You make products and you release them.
Yeah. Or you do like
money.
Like, you know, Microsoft was like, hey, would you guys be interested in Alan Wake Remastered as a pre-order bonus? Yeah, for Quantum Break.
Like saying, if you're interested, send us 5, 10, or 15, or 20.
Yeah, if we're gonna do a Kickstarter, we're Microsoft. We're you know, worth hundreds of billions of dollars, but we're gonna gauge interest in an Alan Wake remaster. If you guys do $2 million in Kickstarter, we'll do it for you. I mean, I'd be like, that would be Microsoft.
I would call them idiots. You know, that doesn't make any sense. I just don't want to support things just because I like something. There has to be, nothing's 100% great.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just where I was coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, I 100% agree. I thought it was disrespectful to have that guy out there and kind of, Sony thought that they were going to get good PR for that.
Well, they did.
They did, but I'm seeing more and more articles pop up like, where's this money coming from? Because $2 million is very low, and Sony's being very cryptic about what they're funding, and there's a lot of kind of ifs and buts and like kind of cagey things going on. Because this game is obviously not a $2 million game. It's not like an indie game, you know what I'm saying? And obviously Sega signed off on letting him use the franchise or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, and I just think that's kind of, it sets a bad precedent. It's unfair for the little people that are trying to go there, because he probably could have got that game funded on Kickstarter completely by himself without the help of Sony. People like that franchise or whatever.
It's been low. No, hey, like I said, when they was gonna fund that game from the rip, and they just did that shit to get more money.
Yeah,
Sony's fucked up, man.
Hey, next gen. How about that Joe Montana football troll?
And you know what's crazy? And it's sad to say, the guy who fucking leaked the story. Like I'm not. What do you say? I'm not a part of the something. So I'm not tied to the NDA, non-disclosure agreements. That guy that gave the interview, that's the same guy that leaked it. There's a loophole that with Microsoft will be able to publish the game and that was the guy. They did that shit to pique interest in that fucking game, and that's sad, man. The fucking developers trolled the fuck out of us, yo.
Yeah, like, you know what? A lot of people were like hounding me about it, but like, oh man, crap, you guys all hyped that up and this. And I'm like, you know what? We all heard the same rumors. We all know, like, maybe some people that are kind of close to this or whatever. And they were like, hey, yeah, like, there's this loophole with this, and it sounds really good. And why would you use Unreal Engine 4? Why would you take Joe Montana, who's a big-name star, motion cap him for a mobile phone game? That part didn't make sense to me. Like, I thought, well, at the very least, right, didn't you figure at the very least we'd get a non-NFL game, but it would still be something?
Yeah. I'm not a big football guy at all, but I know you guys were talking about it, and I remember the big selling point being the NFL license.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy it regardless. I wanted.
No, I think they did that. I mean, they tweeted out, Joe Montana at the Microsoft campus. So I guess everybody thought it was going to be on the Xbox, but I think they did that because they wanted to show that the screens and people saying, "Oh my God, look at that game! Look at that game! Look at that game!" And then when they announce it's mobile, people are like, "Wow, that's going to be on a mobile platform." But I don't think that worked well for them.
Yeah, people are going to avoid that shit. I'm not going to buy that damn game.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
they pissed off a lot of people with that.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, at least set this thing straight. Like, I remember people saying, "Oh, it's probably going to be mobile," and I'm like, "Why would you mocap Joe Montana and do Unreal Engine 4?" I didn't even think Unreal Engine 4 could work on a mobile phone. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. They're pushing. Mobile's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and they're really pushing.
Well, them fuckers can pack sand, man. I'm not buying that. You know what I mean? Look, I wanted there to be because according to Tim Dog and from what I've seen of the new Madden, it looks just like last year's. I'm tired. I'm tired of that. I'm not even going to get it because it'll be in EA Access within 6 months anyway. So
and that's the whole thing. People are okay with like sending money to these companies to make games. But they're upset that EA spends money to make sure nobody can make a football game every year.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good for the industry. It's not good for gamers or fans. It's like, to me, it's just ridiculous, And like, I felt like it's like people like want to like shove that up our ass too. Like, oh, next gen, crap gamer. You guys, look. Gamers as a whole lose here. Yes, it sucks. Why are you happy that this happened? That it's not a console game? Because we were happy because it was rumored to be an Xbox exclusive. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like a fan thing.
Where did that rumor come from, though? Because I don't remember seeing that rumor actually coming from Microsoft or anybody.
Well, no, it never came from Microsoft, but then the guy was talking about it, and then it was Unreal 4, and then Joe Montana was at the Microsoft studio the day they did E3.
Well, it's going to be on PC, too. That's probably why he was there.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man. He's tweeting out that he's at Microsoft the day they're doing E3 stuff.
You mean you don't want to play football on your phone?
No, I don't. I don't want to play football on my phone.
I don't know.
Even if it looks like a PS4, Xbox One game.
No, I don't
Yeah,
care about. I don't play phone stuff. I mean, honestly, whenever I'm out and about, I'm either driving or I'm too busy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that I'm interested in as far as that's concerned. It's just, to me, that was like a big troll moment. You know, it's like there were some awkward things at this E3. That was one of them. The Sony's Kickstarter deal was one of them. There's a lot of different things that were just kind of like troll situations, in my opinion, and it kind of ticks me off. Nintendo had one of their worst things they've ever done. They had nothing.
Yes.
And not only that, but they trolled people. Hey, like, I'm an Animal Crossing fan, I admit it. And what do they give you? Some amiibo little board game Animal Crossing game and some build-a-room thing on the 3DS, right? And then it's like, hey, we got this Metroid game, and that thing looks so cheesy that there's petitions to get that game canceled. You know, I don't understand what Nintendo is thinking at this particular juncture.
You know what, bro? And I'm going to say this again, and the same thing it goes for the indies. I'm sorry, the big stage is not for the 3DS. You know, believe it or not, even I was surprised Dr. Trey called him out on this. You know,
what did they do?
They showed more games for the 3DS than they did for the actual Wii.
Yeah, well, they have to. They have to. At this point.
Oh, they didn't have to. They didn't.
Who's going to buy anything on the Wii U at this point?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but they got some games that are coming out for it still. Devil's Third and something. You know what I mean? And my God, they was stumbling. Like, what was that? E3 2008 when he was on stage playing on fucking instruments and shit.
Yeah.
This is what it fucking looked like. I even watched it and I was like, my God.
Yeah, they have a lot of work to do, man.
Well, they're obviously, like, their plan was wait till next year. I mean, unfortunately, but it's like they're gonna piss off the people like me who don't feel at all happy with what they've gotten out of their Wii U. You know, like
what you got to think of though, crap. Like right now, a lot of people are disappointed, but try and imagine next year a Nintendo platform that has Zelda on it at launch, that has a proper Metroid on it at launch. And I'm talking about games that are more powerful.
Hold on 1 second, guys. Keep this party going. I'll be right back.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like imagine a console more powerful than the current gen. Because let's be honest, it's not hard. It's not hard to be more powerful.
No,
right
this
now,
is something I've said in the past, Warwick. This is something that being crap bump heads about. I told him, and maybe you missed this podcast. I don't think Nintendo is going to make the same mistake 3 times in a row.
I hope not.
Putting out, I mean, it's the new Wii U or whatever it's going to be called, the Nintendo NX.
Yeah.
It's going to be more powerful and more capable system than the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. It's newer hardware. It has no choice but to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It probably have 4K capabilities and stuff like that. And already Ubisoft and EA said that this generation is not going to last that long. So if Nintendo comes out with their new console in next year, they show it at E3 and comes out the holiday, and this console could do 4K, every game at 1080p, 60 frames a second, and they have better looking multiplayer. Right. They said it's x86, it's going to be x86 just like the other one. So it's not going to be hard to port games to the Wii U. This is going to force Microsoft and Sony hands. If they're coming out with the same Call of Duty and their version of Call of Duty looks 20 times better than the Call of Duty that's on the PS3, than the PS1 and the Xbox One, Microsoft and Sony are going to come up with their new system. They're going to have to. They're going to get left in dust. No one's going to want to buy it. No one's going to want to buy it. You know what I mean?
I think they'll hold on a little bit longer.
I mean, listen, you got to think about this, Worry. What we went through last generation, we'll never see that again. This is the only time in history. There were no losers last generation. There were no losers.
But you know what, though? I mean, I don't know about that because if PlayStation's 20-something million right now, right? Yeah. If they sell more than
supposedly, allegedly.
I finished worrying again. What you say?
Go ahead.
If they sell more than the PlayStation 2 did, they're not in any rush to get out of this generation.
No, it's not. Well, no. Here's the thing: it's not that any rush. It's that you gotta realize this: that technology is forever going forward, right?
Yeah.
You know, and your competitor. You understand what I'm saying? Your competitor has something on the show, and they're all looking for the hardcore game. They want to lose that at first.
Yeah.
And you know, say their new console is $350, $400, and their games look twice as good as their games. They're not going to have a choice because there are going to be some games that Ubisoft put out. They're not going to be able to run on their on the Xbox One and the PlayStation.
I think if they come out with a Zelda and a Metroid that are built for a system with say 10 gigs of RAM available for games.
Yeah, I won't say 10 gigs.
Well, whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm saying whatever. But let's say they can do 4K native easily.
Yeah, but I don't know if resolution's enough to make me buy a console. Like you want better
4K?
graphics.
4K?
But you want better graphics, not better internal resolution.
Well, I'm just saying, with textures and what's going to give you, it's going to be more powerful than the PS4 and the Xbox One. You're talking about the technology that went inside the Xbox One and the PS4 was decided on in 2011, 2012. You understand what I'm saying? We're already in 2015. Now, the technology that's going into this Nintendo NX, and say it comes out 2000, I say 2016. I don't see how they cannot put their new console out in 2000 next year, because they have a console that's not making them any money. When was the last time you seen a Nintendo game in the top 10? You understand what I'm saying?
Smash Brothers.
Wasn't Splatoon?
But that was the holidays. That was Christmas.
Yeah. I think
Splatoon came out.
Splatoon did pretty good, actually. I don't know.
It didn't come in top 10.
Yeah, I don't know what they're.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but whatever the case may be, but even if it did, it's not going to be in June's NPD. It's not.
Yeah, probably.
It may chart 1 month, but you're not going to see it again. And this is how they all make their money, off royalties from software sales. You have a console on the market that's not selling any software. It's not making them any money. That's why they said that's why I said the more crap that they have to release a console in 2016, latest or early 2017 in January, February, and spring, because they literally have a platform that's on the market that's not making any money. What was the last game released for the Wii U besides Splatoon?
That Toad.
And when did that come out?
Treasure Tracker. Toad's Treasure Tracker.
That came out in December?
I don't even remember when that came out.
I think it came last year. Which is already about to be July.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if it wasn't for the 3DS, they wouldn't be able to hold on and make these decisions. That they would have to make them sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this is already July. You get multiplats that come out, every Tuesday? Look at all the games that came since the holiday season of last year, of 2000. Look at all the games that come out for the PS4 and the Xbox One. Every fucking Tuesday you have a multiplat. You understand what I'm saying? They literally have a platform on the market that doesn't make any money, and how they make their money, they all usually take a hit on the hardware, but how they make their money is through software sales, especially through third party. The system doesn't have any third party support whatsoever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anything that comes up with Nintendo, there's something that they're making that they had to put their blood, sweat, and tears into. You know what I mean?
What's cool about Nintendo is it's kind of strange, but they're in a position in the market where everybody loves Nintendo. You know what I mean? There's no console war around Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo is just somewhere off just sucking a dick, turning the tricks on. It's like, but listen, they have but listen. Wait, just let me ask you a question, because I get shit thrown at me. Listen, I want you to think about me. Me and you are about the same age, right? I'm 37. What you about 35, 34, 36?
Around there.
Okay, whatever the kid, you 40-year-old bastard. Whatever the case may be. But when I tell people this, I remember the days when Nintendo had all of the third-party support. Some of Nintendo's greatest games Nintendo's didn't make. Contra, Castlevania, Russian Attack, Double Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Karate Kid. They had all of the third-party support. How did they go from having everything to not having nothing?
You know what it is? It is Nintendo, they want to hold on to their identity. And they don't see themselves as, just the graphical powerhouse or the violent games this, violent games that. But you have to find a balance between giving everyone, catering to a whole audience and not just the safe one that you feel safe with. And that's the thing. Like when back in the day, those games that were coming out, they were made for 8-bit systems, and they weren't these big games that are violent and stuff like that. And Nintendo just didn't move with the developers. They moved, they marched to their own beat.
Yeah, I mean, the last time Nintendo, I guess, put out powerful hardware was the GameCube, because the GameCube was more powerful.
The GameCube was. You remember that game? Star Wars. Rogue
Squadron? You remember Eternal Darkness?
Yeah.
That?
Oh God, that game was amazing.
Eternal Darkness. You remember that? Okay, now with that being said, like I said, you don't know. A lot of you guys may know. Today, classes in section, fellas. what saved Nintendo's ass? Nintendo was hurting financially. What saved Nintendo ass because they got the team. They got the like when the industry went left, Nintendo went right. You know, the N64 was more powerful than the PS1. It's just that it didn't do. They stayed with cartridges, and cartridges, if you didn't know, are very more expensive than fucking discs. And they and the PS1 was able to do these CD, graphic ROM type graphics, and you can't do that with cartridges. Those cut scenes, that was the introduction to cut scenes in movies and stuff like that.
That's why Final Fantasy VII was so huge.
Yeah, on the PS1, you know what I mean? You can do that on a CD-ROM. You can't do that on a cartridge. Okay, but like I said, but the N64 itself was more powerful than the PlayStation 1. Just talking about far as, we used to call it 8-bit, 16-bit, 130. We was judging by bits back then. And then the GameCube came out, and again, this wasn't so much the fact that they had little discs and stuff. Don't get me wrong, stuff still wasn't really in HD, and things could be compressed. It wasn't so much the size of the disc, is that Nintendo took a stance. Listen, check it out. I remember not even a commercial. I think it was on maybe Oprah or something or whatever the case. And the parents were out in the street, and they had a Nintendo spokesman, and they were throwing copies of Grand Theft Auto 3 in the trash. And
yeah, I remember that.
Nintendo didn't want that game on their wholesome system. You understand?
You know why? It's the same thing with Mortal Kombat. Remember when the blood was green in the game?
On the Super Nintendo. That's why
you had to put a code in or something, or whatever the fuck you had to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they could have. This before Grand Theft Auto was the Grand Theft Auto that we all know. It was, you know what I mean? They went from the top down over the camera. Like it was like a cartoon comic or strip or something where they used to be. You didn't see the gore really. You know what I mean? It was just a top down over the top type arcadey type indie type game. But then he went to Grand Theft Auto. It was 3D. You get to actually see you beating with a hook or stomping out somebody. And they didn't want that type of game on their system. You know what I mean? And if you look, traditionally it hasn't always been the most powerful console they won because back then the PS2 was the weaker of the three. But here's the problem: you didn't have whole genre or plethora of games skipping the PS2 because it wasn't strong enough to run them. And that was the problem with the Wii and with the Wii U. They put out I don't know why, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Cause I bought a Wii U, you didn't know I bought one day one. They took to the stage and say no longer will Nintendo be left behind. This is Reggie, you know what I'm saying? There's no longer will Nintendo be left behind. The days to get your Battlefields and this, that, and the other. Nintendo put out that Wii U to compete. Not with the PS4 and the Xbox One, to compete with the 360 and the PS3. They were 7 years late to the HD party. You know what I mean? Then you had Nintendo making statements they didn't know making HD games took as long, and developers like, what the fuck? This is all that you do. This is what pays your bills. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? How they just now seeing the importance of all, and this would make me get rid of my Wii U. When Miyamoto gave an interview with GameSpot and I read that shit, 2013, he said Nintendo was just now seeing the importance of online gaming. Xbox Live came out in 2002, fellas. 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just different companies.
Warriors, no way in hell you can give me a game with local multiplayer and not have online multiplayer. Come on.
I think that I think Nintendo in the past it was their problem to fix, but I don't know now if people are going to move with them the way that they're moving with these other companies in terms of generation to generation online multiplayer, the graphical intensive games and stuff like that.
If they come up with another dud, it's a wrap for Nintendo. If they come out with another Wii U or a Wii, it's a wrap for Nintendo.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want to see that.
No, fuck it. If it does, it does. Fuck it. I'm like Drago. If he dies, he dies. You know what I mean? Fucking like Boy, if he cries, he cries. And then listen, it's their own arrogance. If they come out with that shit again, with an anemic console that's just on par with the PS4 and the Xbox One, you don't get me wrong, because they're always going to be a little bit behind, and not overshoot and put it on par with the PS4 and the Xbox One, because when the PS5 and whatever else comes out, it's going to be the same shit again.
You know what? I remember reading an interview, and I don't know how long ago it was, but I remember Nintendo saying that, when they were talking about it might have been the PS2 and the original Xbox, or even moving into this gen, that chasing, higher graphics is a race to the bottom. And I think they believe that, and they're all about like creativity and fun, and that's important. But I do think you need to have those heavy hitters that look really well too. on a system. You can't have a system that can't run, you know, and I hate to say Call of Duty because Call of Duty isn't, you know, great. But you have to have.
Not even Call of Duty.
Like you have to have a system that can have The Witcher on it when it comes
Yeah,
out.
you know what? Here's the thing. And I'm glad that you said that. Not even so much Call of Duty, because as long as they support current generation, I mean, you know, whatever, the 360 and the PS3, they can support the Wii U, you know, as far as those games. But they put out, the problem is, Rory, and we got to be honest with ourselves, you're a Nintendo fan. There's no conspiracy against Nintendo, because when you guys did get third-party games, you guys didn't go out and support them, okay? You had games like A League and Injustice, and it sold 19,000 copies for the fucking month.
Yeah.
Injustice, you know.
And that too was a big disappointment.
Yeah, you don't go out and support your console, but again, they put out a quote unquote a next generation console that can't run any next generation engines. So you have a whole shitload of multiplats that's gonna skip your console.
Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think next generation means? Like because they're all different companies and they have these different views about what they
next generation.
What do you have to be next generation? Like what's
next generation to me is a move forward in far as what in technology, Rory. Yeah. There's no need to buy a console, a quote unquote a next generation console that you can't do the shit that my Rory. This is sad. They released a quote unquote a next generation console with 8 gigs of flash. My OG Xbox had an 8 gig hard drive.
Yeah, I hear you. You're right about that. Yeah.
Without an internet port, like, come on, we have to. We can be Nintendo lovers. If we don't stand up and say, you know what, Nintendo, enough of this shit. We're not going to support this shit anymore. They're not. Listen, their shareholders. When the shit started affecting the bottom dollar, that's what I said. They can't afford it. They can't afford another dud. I don't know who got. They need some new blood in it, and I refuse. I mean, they can come up with a console that's 25 times more powerful than the Xbox One and the PS4.
Yeah,
until they get third party on board, I don't want to be. I want voice chat in every game, mandatory. I want join session in progress. Just the basic shit that I've been. It don't have to be as good as Xbox Live. We know that. That's Microsoft bread and butter. But the Wii U can't do the basic shit that I was doing back in 2002. Worry.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I'm critical of Nintendo not because I don't like them, because I love them. Like I want them to do the stuff you're talking about. You know what I mean? Just the basic shit. Yeah. You ain't gotta say Wii U broadcast and be on Twitch. It ain't gotta be that technical. Yep. But just the basic shit that I've been doing since 2002. So you know what? When I bought my Wii U day one, Worry, it felt like I was taking a step back. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I understand it was more powerful than the Wii U did some things, but for a gamer that's been playing on the PS3 and the 360, especially the 360, it felt like I was taking a step back. Not saying that the Wii U wasn't more powerful than the 360, okay? People get confused.
But Batman didn't even look as good on Wii U as it did on the other.
I mean, because it was a port. But whatever. I mean, games that are built for the Wii U, looks better than, from the ground up, looks better than what can be done on the PS3 and the 360. I'm going to be honest. Bayonetta 2 probably looks better than anything that's on the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah, I would agree with that, probably.
Okay, graphically, I get that. But I'm just talking about as far as features, like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, when you, listen, both, I don't give a fuck what Nintendo says, but both Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony wants to be your one-stop shop for everything as far as entertainment in your living room. That's why you have Nintendo TV. That's why Nintendo has Netflix and Hulu and shit like that. They want to do it also.
But no Blu-ray player, no DVD player.
you know what I mean? It comes a time, like I said again, like, when you have to, like Splatoon, as fun as that goddamn game may have been, there's no way I would support. You cannot tell me I'm not going to support an online shooter with fucking 5 maps and no fucking voice chat.
There's not even the voice chat's not even the problem. The problem is you can't party system with people.
What I'm just saying, I can't support
it's ridiculous. It
sends them the wrong message that it's okay for us to stick our dick in your butt with no lube. We're gonna take it. It's okay for us to go and start this fucking Kickstarter. Hey, it's in your hands. It's okay because you let us. Like I said in the day, you can be a fan of anything, but the last thing, bro, we are consumers first. Consumers. Yeah. You can be I'm a big Microsoft fanboy. Fucking I am. I admit it. I bleed green. But I am a consumer first.
I'm unbiased as the day is long, though.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, what? Again, just to say what I'm saying, just to shut the fuck up. if Nintendo, like I said, me and Crap kind of bumped it. They can't afford another dud. They can't. If they come out with another fucking dud, another deuce, they got the deuce. If they come out with another deuce, it's a wrap, yo. They don't need a gimmick. They need a console.
With a controller, with a hard drive, with the online system, with achievements, with that's something that's going to be easy because they need to just piggyback off what ports that people are going to do. Like they're going to do the games on the PS4, Xbox One. They need to be able to easily port those to whatever the.
It's not supposed to be x86. You know what I mean? What's the good thing?
Thank God it wasn't the Android like it was rumored.
even if that's the OS, I don't know. I don't care. Long as it's like there be no excuses for it. Can't come up with another tri-core or tri-core processor when the competition is doing. They're both x86. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't make yourself a sober difference. Then, like I said, it's costing developers to go out of their way to port games to your console, and it's costing them money. You know what I mean? So
I think they have a need to be so different all the time that it hurts them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is the thing, right? And I said this a long time ago. I was like, look, Nintendo makes classic games. I like them, but they needed to grow up a little bit with the people that were fans, right? Like they come out with Splatoon. That's good, but it's very kiddie looking. It's fun. Why not come out with a something real looking or gritty? You know what I'm saying? Like their own gritty first party game. Like their Uncharted or their Halo.
Yeah, they have so many IPs, man.
Yeah, like this generation is going to go by with the Wii U, and they're not even going to get a real Metroid game.
Oh. You know what? Again. It's crazy as hell that you said that, but I think at the end of the day, like I said, I say this again, they can't afford another dues, they can't afford to drop another turd. Nintendo, they need, like I said, that's why I said they need new blood. I don't know if I heard the way their company is structured. I heard that Iwata doesn't have the last say. There's a board that has to, the old brass has to go. They need some new blood in there. They really do. And because they don't get it now, this Nintendo's it's been out since 2012, still hasn't sold 10 million fucking units. And I don't want to talk about sales. The sales doesn't mean anything, but that console came out a year before the PS4 and the Xbox One, and still can't sell to 1 million. If they don't get that, if they don't understand that, and they don't understand the market of what's going on, they got to get the MPDs every month. You got to see what's selling. And you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Like, god damn, like you can't be that so far out of the loop that you don't know what the fuck's going on. You know what I mean? They like, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. They spend more. This is the problem with the Wii U. They spent more developing the tablet than they did on the peripheral. Had they put a beefier GPU, a beefier CPU, more RAM in the system, and sold the tablet as an extra peripheral like the Wii balance board, and made a game that fully sold a game like Zombie U bundled with it for $150 or something, the Wii U we wouldn't be having this conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We would not be having this conversation. There's not really one game that really, I say, how you say, justify having this controller. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? This is all about, they try to hop on that tablet craze in America. That was the craze. I mean, they should have fucking put a G, because I read this what they cost and stuff. They spent more money on the tablet, for the fucking tablet, which is not even full touchscreen or anything like that. It's not even fucking digital, it's analog. You understand what I'm saying? And give us a full tablet. Maybe that you could have had apps on and just went all out with the shit. You know what I mean? And made a game that fully utilizes it and put beefier specs in the system. We wouldn't be having this. Like, we wouldn't be probably having this conversation. But Nintendo is Nintendo, man. And bro, just think about it. It came out, it's the Dreamcast has outsold the Wii U.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah, that is bad.
That was a great console, man. I wish that
it was.
What would have been great?
And had great games. And had great. You know what killed the Dreamcast? Believe it or not, EA. When they took Madden. This one, Madden was Madden.
You know what? I was talking to somebody about on Twitter about that. Can you imagine if Yu Suzuki came out and announced Shenmue was done, and by the way, it's going to launch on the Dreamcast 2 or whatever? Imagine that. Oh my god.
Yeah, but you know what? Sega's going to be one of the next ones to get out of the business. I mean, them and Konami, because you can just tell they couldn't really care less. And same thing with Konami, they don't really care less, and that's kind of unfortunate. But
well, they're selling clothing now, Metal Gear Solid clothing. Did you see that?
I mean that's the next big thing, man. Metal Gear clothing. What they need to sell is that box, where you can like sneak around in it and nobody knows.
Yeah,
that box.
It's
Just one thing. You know what?
The Home Depot.
That's one thing that I hated about Metal Gear, and I prefer
Realistic.
Splinter Cell was more realistic. You know what I mean? It was more realistic, and Metal Gear, you whip out that box. It's raining outside. I'm just gonna put this box. The ink when she spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain. Like, yo, what the fuck is this box? And watch the spider out.
That's what makes people love that series. That's that quirkiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
That shit was stupid. Like, no, that shit was stupid. That's one reason I hated about Metal Gear. And I hope they don't. I know this new Metal Gear, they're not gonna have that box, which is open. It's open world, and it looks fucking amazing. I've seen someone playing it, one of those sites, and it looks fucking gorgeous. Are you getting it, Warren?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, it looks fucking.
I'll probably.
You didn't get the demo, did you? Crap, you didn't get the $30.
Yeah, I have it.
What do you think about the $30 demo?
I haven't played it yet. I didn't pay no $30 for it though, but I have it.
Oh yeah, I bought it because I was just fucking looking for something. It looked amazing though.
Oh yeah, even in 720p, it looked really good.
I didn't realize. I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was the same resolution. Let me ask you a question. Speaking of which, is Metal Gear is it still coming out for current gen consoles?
I think it's PS3, 360, Xbox One, PS4, yeah.
Oh,
that was the whole point of that Fox engine crap was to.
Now, if the 360 version is still 720p, I will not be.
Yeah, that wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly. Well, you have to remember how early on that was too for the Xbox
it's probably
One,
going to be 900p on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I can't. Still with DirectX 12 when is DX12 coming out?
I don't think later this year.
I don't think that. I mean, like the new Forza 6 game, that's still a DX11 title.
It is. It can't be.
Yeah. When they interviewed them, they said they're not worried about DirectX 12.
So it's DX11 modified. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
mean,
it's
gonna have a lot of DX12 features in it.
It could be later. Hey, check this out. Someone tweeted it that they're bringing back the Summer of Arcade to Xbox One.
Yeah,
it's called Summer Spotlight.
Summer Spotlight, yeah.
So we're gonna have the apartment again, or what?
No, it's gonna be like Summer of Arcade, where you got in the summertime.
Highlighting some of the best digital games launching on the platform this summer. Major Nelson seemed very deliberate with his word choicing, implying that this promotion might not only be Xbox Live Arcade, indie games, or ID games at the moment. Only 3 of the games announced: King's Quest, Smite, and Toy Soldiers War Chest. Which that Toy Soldiers War Chest has me interested because that's stuff from the 80s. Yeah, He-Man and G.I. Joe and stuff like. You know what's weird is Microsoft owned that IP and they gave it back to them.
What IP?
The Toy Soldiers IP.
Soldiers, yeah.
Who owned it?
Yeah. They owned it.
Who they
Microsoft owned it. They gave it back to the developers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
Damn.
Yeah, I guess.
You're talking about Toy Soldiers. I remember that. That was a big hit on the 360.
Yeah, that's what Microsoft owned that. I mean, it was always on, like, they used to put it on PC as well, but it was never on PlayStation, and now this new one's going to be on PlayStation as well.
Oh.
That's it. They also own the Shadowrun IP, and they gave that up, too.
Yeah, that didn't do too well, though. When it came, that wasn't really...
Yeah, you know why? Because they...
Too PC-ish for
consoles, I think. Well, they had cross-play with PC, and then you would get your ass kicked on it. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's basically what happened. I mean, that's, kind of...
Yeah, when I saw He-Man come out with the Battle Cat, riding on the cat, and...
Hell yeah! I mean, like those games seem like quality games, right? Like the ones that they used to spotlight. Like I was on the 360 yesterday, downloading Thief on that because it's the free game or whatever, and I was just looking at the tabs and I just loved it. Like they had an indie tab, an arcade tab. You know what I'm saying? It's like so organized, and now it's just like this big conglomeration of shit. And you're you gotta wade through all the bull stuff, all the bullshit. It's like crazy.
They want indie games to just be games. That's what it is. They don't want to have that separation.
Yeah, but then people like buy stuff, and then they could be, to me that's a little bit deceptive on everybody's part because people are like, hey, look at this game. It seems fun, but it's not like a full experience like what you would get with a big game. You know what I mean? Like to me, anyway, it's like those things are very kind of limited in appeal for long term. You know what I mean? Like that's not something that I buy a console for. So.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own, man.
Yeah, but I know, but that is good news that they are going to bring back that summer spotlight or whatever. That was.
I love that back on the 360.
I did too, because like at the time, like I didn't have this aversion to it. I think the whole reason why I don't like it now is because they just shove indies down your throat. You know what I mean? Like at every turn. And now,
well, Zaire said you love getting stuff shoved down your throat.
No. That's not me. But I did use next gen in a joke about how fast Sony went down at E3, faster than grannies around next gen. So.
Oh, and you know it, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, just in closing, real quick, I want you guys, like, if you weren't here earlier when we did our e-begging, we have a shop now that sells Big Gamer Small Talk merchandise.
Yes.
If you want to get a shirt with me pissing on a PS4 or the Big Gamer Small Talk logo, or if you want an iPhone case or an iPad case or a hoodie, whatever. I mean, if you want a duvet cover, if you want a duvet cover, you can get one of those, man, with the logo on there, like wall hanging. You can get whatever you want, and all this stuff kind of goes into fun to help us do stuff for you guys at some of these events and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's going to help us achieve those goals. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, make sure you buy it. I'm going to keep pimping this stuff as much as possible. So you might as well buy some shit.
Also, listen, if you don't want a T-shirt, it's down below. It says available products. That's where you can buy anything that else you want. But if you want a different style of a shirt, big sleeves, long sleeves, or hoodie, just hit the it says clothing style. And all types of shirts, all different colors.
And it says available products, and like I'm looking at it now, you get a pencil skirt, a scarf, iPhone case,
what's a pencil skirt?
I think it's like a little thing that you put it's a skirt, actually. I'll be damned.
How much they want for the skirt? Jesus, son.
Hold on.
Like, how much they want for the skirt? I want to wear it.
I'll tell you, dude. I'll tell you right now. It's $35. Hey, and they even got some wearing it. It's like, and it's me pissing on the PS4. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, come rock out with us. And listen, and whoever, we may run a contest for you guys, our big supporters, to actually come on the show, hang out, but let us behind the air, But we're trying to make it the E3 Games Con and all that stuff. So go out and support us. And if you want to, you guys always ask to come on the show. We may want to, run a special or something, to come hang out with us. We're celebrities and all. We're pretty famous. Like
oh yeah, we're awesome celebrities. We rock. So I appreciate you guys. Hey man, we had like 140, 150 people.
We did. Get these out of here.
Dude, that's crazy considering it's just like the middle of the day and we just.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
2 crackers and 1 nigga. We made it happen. We made it happen. We made it happen.
And with that.